Hello and welcome back to another episode in the A.N.I series, where today we will be taking a look at the Umamusume Pretty Derby Figma Majiro McQueen. Now, as I mentioned in the previous Umamusume figure, that being Satono Diamond, I did pick up a couple more figure arts, that is, to see how well that line has continued. But I also picked up this Figma figure of McQueen, mostly to see, as a comparison, how well does a Figma, with its articulation style, work for these Umamusume figures. So with that, I have Majiro McQueen. Now, as I have shown off before, I do have the Figma Gold ship, but I feel kind of biased in trying to review that one, so I figured, why not just pick up another? Might as well. In for a penny, as they say. So with that out of the way, let's just move on ahead. So, grabbing hold of the figure here, and getting a closer look at the details. The overall sculpt is fairly clean. The way that they've engineered this figure is interesting, to say the least, with the only noticeable sticking out point being the this little peg right here, and this is meant for the included stand. And also, as a quick disclaimer, I don't know if it's just me having a slight bad luck, but I seem to have some kind of quality control issue with the tail, because as soon as I opened up, the tail just falls right off, as if there's no real hold to that little peg over there. And it's done in a similar, well, an exact same style to how Gold Chip does it, where it is, if I can pull this out, just set her down right there, grab the tail. It's a hinge with two, a peg going into the body, and then this peg for the tail that allows for a swivel. So you can, obviously swivel at this peg, swivel here with the hinge, so it will allow for movement in any which direction, which is nice. Definitely more preferable than what Rice Shower had, where it was just a ball joint. So there's that. But I think the figure arts for Satono Diamond was a little bit better. And again, I seem to have a quality control issue right off the back when opening this figure. So it's a little disappointing. I mean, I can fix it. That's nothing too hard to fix, but I'd figure I'd just show it off for this review before I modify it. I think I'm going to try and thicken the joint with some super glue. I'll see if that works. But I mean, it will stay on there for now. But again, looking over the detail of the actual outfit, it's done fairly nice. The only real noticeable part is the way that the Figma joint looks for the arm. That could be kind of unsightly at certain angles, but nothing too crazy. And I guess the Figma style, the joints for the knee could be a little unsightly. At least, let me just grab it right now. When compared to the figure arts, where it slightly hides it. No, not by much. So yeah. So overall, on a whole, it looks good. The print work and paint job is nice and clean. I don't think I have anything noticeable that's off paint-wise. And the tail fell off, and I'm just going to leave it out there. So for the actual paintwork of the head, the faceplate, it looks pretty good. It's done clean, done very well. And yeah, might as well, let's just look at the articulation right now. So starting off at the top of the head, at the ears, they are on a peg. which will allow for a swivel. And there is some nice shading going on with the tips of the ears being, this is going to concentrate, kind of like a black tip, or black shading going across, which I never noticed on the character. I'm assuming this is on the game model as well, though I haven't really trained McQueen all that much to pay attention. So there's that. But looking at the back of the head, you do have a hinge that will allow for the character to look about that high up, which is pretty nice. It's on one of those Figma styled joints, as you've seen with the arms and legs, where it will allow for a good motion down, if it will focus. And as you've seen before, a good motion up. And you just want to be careful, because sometimes you will push that up. The head can tilt about that far to the side, that far to the side, and can swivel like all pegs can. And now looking at the torso, there should be a ball joint right here. Right there, yeah. That will allow everything a ball joint should do. Nothing really impeding the motion as it's going over the sculpt. There is another... Oh my god, these letters are getting caught on every pointy bit. There's another ball joint right here at the mid-torso. So that too will allow decent rotation and a swivel. More on the upper than this mid one, as it's being caught up by the sculpt. So nothing bad, allows for a good range. Moving on to the arm, you get, it's hard to see in here, but is that a ball joint? No. Hold on. Is that a ball joint? No, I think that's another Figma joint. I'm calling it a Figma joint because, I mean, you know it when you see it. Just that styling. Yeah, so I want to say it's one of those, which will allow for the arm to... Oh my. Okay, I have an easier time going back this way. Okay, oh my, yeah, pop that off. Okay, pop that back in. You can technically go, oh, I was wrong. It is a ball joint. Okay. Yeah, that's a stationary ball joint. Okay, yeah. So you can theoretically go all around. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that was a ball joint. So you can go all around, but you want to be careful because you are going to be hitting either the top of the torso or the headpiece. So with that out of the way, you do get a bend at the arm that gets you more than 90, but not the full way, which is fine. You don't get a cut for a bicep swivel up here, but you do get a swivel from the midpoint, and this can go for either the top or bottom, but more so from this top section, as that's the more looser turn, if I don't cover it up. For the hand, it is on a, is it peg or, yeah, a peg and a hinge. So that will rotate any which way that you'd want that to rotate. Nothing impeding its movements, which is nice. Moving on to the not the lower torso just yet. You do get hinges for the dress to move out of the way, which is very nice, and the sculpt continues ever so slightly outward, which it shows off a tiny bit. So you do get that, and I can just realign that. Kind of looks weird when you're looking at the back from here, but yeah, I guess that will be good for when you're doing a dynamic running pose, so that's nice. But other than that, you're not... I think it's more so for that reason that you're using those joints, because I think the legs aren't going to be too impeded by it, but yeah. So over here at the lower part, you do get a ball joint, and the problem with this figure is you can actually see the skeleton that is connecting the... It's like a three-way ball joint system with a floating crotch piece, which kind of looks weird for sure. So you get a ball joint up here, ball joint for the legs, and they do move quite nicely. You get about... Actually, let me move that out of the way. You get about just... Ooh, my god. Just less than... just less than 90 degrees going forward. And you can shift this up and down just to increase the movement, which that rotates all around. But it will look kind of weird doing that. Kicking back, you get about even less, so not too much. Kicking out to the side brings you about that much. And you do get a swivel at the upper thigh. Moving on to the lower leg. You do get a bend that goes all the way. Not the worst looking knee, but definitely passable. But I think it could look a little bit better. You don't get any lower calf cut from that. You do get a hinge that allows the foot to go about that far down and about that far up. I don't think you can push that any further, and if you do, I think you're just going to pop off the actual foot there. And you do get a swivel, though it will be hard to use. It will be hard to use as a rocker, just due to the angle in which the peg is in. And like the Figma, like the other SH figure arts, you do get a toe hinge for this Figma, which will break up the sculpt of the horseshoe. But it is nice that it is there, sculpted and painted very nicely. And with that, I believe that is all the articulation points, I think. I don't think I missed one. I think that's all there. I think as I review more of these Umamasame, while they all have fairly well placed articulation points, it can be a little tricky trying to actually move them around. For some reason, I find that Majiro McQueen to be almost the most finicky, just due to how freely the ball joint here, and here all move. And yeah, so here's that. I don't know, it just feels ever so slightly more awkward to pose than the others, which is weird. It's hard to explain. Actually, I'll just put the tail back on. Let's see if it falls off later on. I hope not. Here we go. I'm actually just surprised she's standing fairly well with how haphazardly I've been moving the Figma. And with that, let us move on to the accessories. So first off, you do get an included stand. I think this is a standard Figma stand, as far as I remember. It's very nice. I do actually prefer it. Oh, I do prefer it more than the figure arts, which I still have here. If I can just get her to stand. Oh boy, I jinxed myself. I definitely jinxed myself earlier. Oh, I knew it. I knew she was gonna fall. Can I just prop you onto the back here? Nope. Okay, you know what? I'll just put her off to the side for now. Oh man, I'm just banging into everything today. So comparing the two stands, the left being the SH Figure Arts and the right being the Figma, I think I prefer the styling of a Figma more. And also you do get ever the slightest of height advantages. And if you did have both of these, you can swap out the claw onto this one. And it does feel more secure, just because the peg on the SH Figure Arts is so small, it can barely hold on to it. So it's nice that this has a much stronger connection. But just to keep it original, here's the stand, and it should fit onto the peg right here. So if we just do that, give it a little push, and then, oh, I had that backwards. I didn't realize that you had to have the stand in a specific way. It will lock up that far. Interesting. I did not know that. But with that, she stands pretty well. So yeah, stand does what a stand does. Of course, with any Figma and or SH Figure Arts, any import figures really, you do get a series of hands. And what's nice about Figma is that they've included all of them on this tree of sorts. So this makes my job a little bit easier. So included are two open hands, like relaxed palm hands. Two splayed out hands, kind of like in a motion, like a beckoning motion. Two finger pointing hands. Two gripping hands, and two fists. Not mentioning the hands already included, which are kind of like the open and relaxed hands, but more dynamic, if that makes sense. Or are these more dynamic? I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. You also do get swappable faceplates. That being this defeated pose, or a whatever pose. And it is printed fairly nicely. You also get this happy open mouth face. It's very nice. And the only other faceplate you get is the one included on the figure, being that neutral relaxed face. So very, very nice indeed. Not as much as Rice Shower or Satono Diamond, but I think enough to pull off different types of poses. For one of these smaller accessories, you do get included, it does include a microphone, which is the only one of these umamas made to include an object that shows off them being an idol. And of course, the gripping hand can hold on to it fairly nicely. And you can use that for the left and or the right. A nice thing is, in case you break the wrist joint, you do get a spare. One spare. I thought with Figmas you got two, but you get one, which is one more than what most companies will give you. And for the second to last accessory, you get this dynamic, kind of like a dirt or just a cloud trail that will show off their running capabilities. So while using the stand to help me out here, I'll quickly try and get her into a running pose. And I believe too is that there is a specific spot for her foot. If you can see it right there, the indent. So, oh my. I would recommend trying to be more delicate than what I'm doing. I'm trying to quickly get this into a pose, all in one take. If you can just bear with me here. Yeah, get that plugged in. Get that plugged in. And let's see how well I can angle this. How deep does it need this to go in here? I think I got that as well as can get it for doing it so quickly. I'm sure you, the viewer, would have a better time doing this, taking your time, of course. So, putting her off right there to the side for now. I guess you can call this an accessory, but you do get included a bag to put your accessories, which is nice. And of course, you can also get a Sharpie and just write down the name of the figure, and hopefully not be like me and find a way to lose most of these accessories. So I'm just going to do a quick jump cut into the size comparisons. Before I forget, I completely forgot to show off the face swapping feature. So pulling McQueen back out here, all you have to do to swap the face print, you just want to pull off the front bang, remove the faceplate, pop in the new one, and pop in the front bang, and there you have it. It looks pretty good. So getting her posed as straight as possible without her falling over. And why does this look so weird? There we go. I had that extended. So getting her to stand right there. Let us bring out the first in the size comparison, that being the SH Figuarts Boom Boom Jared, who stands just a bit taller than Majiro McQueen. Next up, we have the McFarlane Toys Batman Superman Fusion, who, if I can get him balanced, is way out of scale from McQueen, obviously, and is absolutely dwarfing her. Dwarfing? Yeah. Next up, we have the Maximum Series Spider-Man, who is about a good, I want to say about a head taller than McQueen, but much better scaled than McFarlane, that's for sure. And last but not least, I feel like this is the most useful comparison, That being the SH Figure Arts Bright Shower. Who, if I can get to stand, is indeed smaller than McQueen. Now, comparing both Figma being on the left and SH Figure Arts on the right, scale-wise, I want to say this is accurate, even though they do come from different brands. If I had to pick my favorite articulation scheme, or design, that is, I think I'd have to give it to, man, it's hard to think which one's actually better. I want to say Figure Arts, just because it looks slightly cleaner, though I do like some of the techniques that the Figma has. But again, Rice Shower does have the added bonus of ball jointed ears, which allows for a much greater range of display options, and you can elicit more emotions by doing so. So, oh, but then again, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think Satono Diamond had that. Figma Gold Chip also doesn't even have a swivel for her ears, so, huh. Yeah, now that I realize, there's no real sense of a consistency between both brands. So, yeah, I guess it really is just whatever Uma Musume you pick up. It's my guess to what you'll actually get in terms of articulation for the ears. But in terms of articulation where it matters most, being the arms, legs, torso, head, I think I might have to give it to Figure Arts. It's strange to say, it just feels slightly more solid, if that makes sense, despite some of the past reviews. And with that, I think that's really all I have to say. I do enjoy the Figma McQueen. I think she is a good addition. Definitely has some quirks, but I'm sure you can get past it. And yeah, if you like the character, or Uma Musume, I'm sure you'll enjoy having this in your collection. Now, in terms of price, I believe I saw her currently, as of this video, on sale somewhere for around $66, which is pretty good. I believe on sites like Big Bad Toy Store, it's around $75, $74, $77. I can't remember exactly. So, yeah, if you can find her for that price, I think she's actually pretty good. Definitely comes with slightly more than your average imports, at least for the character. And again, it does include with this dynamic cloud piece, which is very nice. So, yeah, there's that, and the microphone. It's a small detail, but it does show off the fact that they are part-time idols, which the others never included. So for that, I'd say it's a pretty nice added bonus. And, yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say. Sculpt's good, paint's good, articulation is good where it is. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think I'm just rambling on this point. So, yeah, with that being said, if you'd like to see more content, I do live stream on the channel HexHap, where, as I've stated before, we paint and build Warhammer miniatures. If you want to see some cool gaming videos, I'd highly recommend Commissar Yoraki, who is also part of the same group. And with that, yeah, I've been Amano in the Red. Please, if you feel, like, comment, subscribe. You don't have to, but I do want to engage more with the viewers on talking points, or you know, any questions you may have, or any recommendations for what I should review next. So yeah, I guess with that being said, I'll see you next time. Peace.